Welcome to the club, cause we're gonna go music, Leo. Run out of time, day, night, hey, yeah, we don't know. Music, Leo. Come to the club, cause we're gonna go music,
After a 6-1 start, now they're at 6-6. This article I've got in my hands said Toronto's collapse, one of the most shocking in pro lacrosse history. What do you?
5 in a row. The Bandits have won 4 in a row. Can you believe I'm taking flack for wearing this jersey?
You don't believe that? Well, no one believes him. The tooth bed food on the world is for reason. He sees the mean glee and the tabloid disease has a critic in his Sunday life allowed at the beat. Hey, you don't go there. No, over there like it's boot camp. Everyone being a commando. Walking on the street, people try to manhandle. Got a posse, got to pound this hammer and
Gary Mark along with Ron Messer this week in Lacrosse. And Ron, it's been a couple weeks since we've been here, but we're alive and kicking.
Yeah, you know, it's we have to pay attention to other jobs from time to time, and there's been a bit of a hiatus in the NLL around these parts with the Rock being absent from the ACC for 3 weeks' time. But that changes Friday night when Gary and I will be at the Rock at Calgary Roughnecks game.
So as we both alluded to in the opening there this week, Toronto and Buffalo, 2 teams going in opposite directions. What the heck is going on in Toronto? And in Buffalo, you got to have the reason for optimism.
Yeah, well, accordingly says in this article, he can't pinpoint a breakdown anywhere, but what he goes on to say, and I won't elaborate too much, is that the rest of the teams didn't take them seriously enough to start with. Now they've caught up, they've read the type of defense that they're running, and they're keying on the Rock's big shooters, Manning, LeBlanc, Billings and Colin Doyle. Colin Doyle, he told him to shoot more. It says here, Doyle took 20 shots at Matt Vink the other night down in Orlando. So, you know, they're trying to change things up a bit because everybody's been able to read them.
Well, and you know what? It's a copycat league. Every professional league is the same. Everybody's got video replay. Everybody's got the ability to watch and scout teams. I think, not that Toronto's not a good team, don't get me wrong, but I think the 6-1 start caught a lot of teams off guard. And to a man, I'm sure every team in the league has watched video and they've figured out defensively how to play Toronto. And at the same time, offensively, what they maybe need to do to get around that Toronto defense that at the start of the season was incredible.
Like I said, mix it up a bit. Maybe Doyle, he's a very unselfish player, very professional, loves to dish the ball off a lot. That shows in his scoring statistics over the years. So what we're going to see tomorrow night at the ACC, I don't know, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a different look for Rock fans. So,
a couple of things I'm going to tie in together here. My new Westminster Salmon Bellies jersey, got this a couple of years ago. Womp and I did the Man Cup in Brampton. Dan Richardson from BC, the GM and president of New West, sent us these jerseys. Hello, Dan. Wearing this around because it's that time of year again. And the kids are out, the tryouts are going, the junior teams, the junior clubs, so to speak, they're all gearing up now for the start of their season, and it's just that time of season.
Yeah, there's already been a couple of Junior B tournaments, 6 Nations last weekend. I believe there's one in Elora this weekend. And in a couple of weeks, you got the Green Gales Classic at the Garnet Rickers Center in Bowmanville. And on a major league note, Gary and I have been talking a lot with the Brooklyn Redmen and the new Ajax Pickering Rock entry in the MSL series. And we hope to be the broadcast crew on Rogers TV again this summer for both of those teams. They both agreed that they both love Friday nights, and what they've done is they've made sure their schedule doesn't conflict with each other, because the two teams are only a matter of like a 10-minute drive apart, and they're going to try and share their Friday nights, and when they do, they're going to play each other on the Friday night. So all of the lacrosse fans across the Durham region and the east end of Toronto can come on out and see the new MSL entry, the Ajax Pickering Rock, and go a little further east and see the Brooklyn Redmen as well.
And hopefully if they get lucky, they'll get to see our smiling mugs on Rogers more than once a week, if you can imagine that. Anyways, back to my New West jersey as well. Last home game in Toronto, Rod Bannister, Hall of Fame goalie from British Columbia, was in town, contacted me, and we met up with Rod after the game. Former New Westminster Salmon Belly. Great guys. First time I've had the chance to meet Rod. Sit and chatted with him over a coffee, of course, after the game. And just a super guy.
Oh yeah, it was a great time. You know, the guy was all about lacrosse. He was really happy to meet Gary, because he'd seen Gary on the internet show here quite a bit. And what an interesting guy to talk to. Coach with the Vancouver Ravens when they had a pro team there, and he still coaches in the junior ranks today.
Yep. So the NLL, as I said, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been on, and what the heck is going on? The East is just a dog race, while in the West, the Washington Stealth have already clinched a playoff spot. Depending on Colorado winning or losing this weekend, and the other 3 teams, they can clinch, and that division could be settled this weekend. But as I said, up in the East, everybody's still in it.
You know, it reads like a science textbook, the possibilities of who is going to end up where. at the end of this weekend, depending on who wins where and whatever. Like I said in my little solo thing I did last week, everybody's shooting for those all-important playoff dates, because in order to pay the bills, I know every operator in the team is looking towards those playoff dates for that extra little bit of gate to help pay the bills. So that's what the big fight is this weekend.
You know, and I'm just sitting here thinking while we're talking about these standings and how messed up this is, we never give our picks this year for who we thought would be in the final and who we thought would win. And I got to say, I don't want to do that right now.
I don't know why.
I might wait until the final week of the year, which is when the Champions Cup obviously will be, and then maybe I'll give you a pick, because I just don't. Even now, outside of maybe Colorado, we figured they're probably not going to make the playoffs. I don't know what to tell you.
No, me neither. Look at this. In the East, Orlando, Boston, Toronto, Buffalo, Rochester, Philadelphia, all with 7, 6, and just as low as 4 wins for Philly. Now, Philly still has a mathematical chance of making it. Of course, some of the other teams in front of them totally collapsed. But a bunch of teams with 6 wins and 6 losses. Yeah. Holy, you couldn't ask for any more exciting than this.
Absolutely. So let's get right into our picks for this week. And as is the case with most weeks, I'm not sure about yourself, I have not had a chance to look at this much at all.
Not me neither.
But the first game of the weekend, Toronto on an 0-5 slide. They're back at home. They're playing against Troy Cordingley and Terry Sanderson's former team, the Calgary Roughnecks. What do you see?
Well, I know that everything I'm seeing on the internet chatter boards, and including me, because I'm one of the ones that started it, is everybody, players, fans, staff, everybody that's involved with the Raw franchise has to come into that arena on Friday night with a bit of a swagger and get the confidence back we had at the beginning of the year. And I know that's what they're going to bring to the floor. It's going to be a very exciting time, and I have absolutely no doubt in my mind this weekend that the Toronto Rock are going to win this one.
I don't have as much optimism as you, but I will say it's situation critical for them.
Definitely.
5 in a row. They've gone from first place in the division down to the middle of the pack with everybody else. This is kind of, I think, a defining game for them. If they lose this, I'm not prepared to say that their season's done, but if they lose this, they're in a real tailspin that I don't know that they can get out of.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And going into Philly the next night, and they're hungry as well. Yeah, they got to play.
I mean, every game's crucial right now. The flip side of that as well, I think I read in your notes there, Tracy Koleski is still a question mark. He's got a concussion.
Yes.
And there was somebody else that Coach Dave Pimmett said they're hoping, they've got the plane tickets for them, they're hoping that they're coming to Toronto, but I'm not sure.
I believe it was Caleb Toth was the other one too.
So a couple of potential big names there that may not be in the lineup for Calgary. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with Toronto there. I've picked them during this 5-game schneid that they're on. Picked them every week, so kind of doing that with quite a bit of reservation. But I'm going to stick with Toronto there as well.
Come to the club, cause we're gonna go music, go, Leo. Run out of time.